Okay, so we're live on YouTube now. Happy Mid-Autumn Festival. Today is the full moon night. If you have watched the video clip I shared in the email before the class, you probably have learned a little bit about the legend of Chang'e, which is who is a very famous goddess of the moon. The story goes back to 4,000 or 3,000 years. So it's a legendary figure. When we paint figures in Chinese brush painting, there's a genre called the beautiful ladies, 仕女. We always paint an imaginary most beautiful lady from real life. So it's idealized, so to speak. It's maybe too challenge for most people. I understand the figure painting is not everybody's cake. So not for me even. I spent the most time for this lesson than any other lesson doing all the drawings and the sketches before the class. Still got nervous if I can do it or not. So in the handout, let me go through some basic terminology about the painting, the styles, and some technique terms. It has to do with the steps, the process. Okay, where's the handout? Let me see. Here, Mid-Autumn. I forgot where I put. Let me see. Mid-Autumn. Celebrating. I think I put it in lesson 1. Okay, here we go. Okay, yeah, this is the handout we emailed you already, and you can get the last page I made from the chat room. Okay. Okay, here is the page 1. This is what we call a sketch, preliminary sketch. I did it with a digital pencil on my notepad. What do you call this? It's called Remarkable, the brand name I got from my daughter's gift, Christmas gift. Very useful these days to use digital pencil so I can modify it easily. The inscription says 嫦娥 over the moon. Later I realized that the moon is supposed in the front of the figure, so I did the other drawing here. Let me put it on the side here. Let me see. Can you see it? The camera is focused on my water supply, not table. So let me just here you can compare the two. I moved the moon to the right a little bit in the front of the flying Chang'e. So to suggest the journey to the moon. Okay, it's not just like a hollow behind her head. So we can adjust that image if we want. Use that reference. Just move the moon further to the right a little bit. I added a little bit cloud or belt, whatever it is. I'll show you how to do those before we paint. It's a very good exercise to practice cursive strokes in this painting. Everything is around it. Okay, and let me go back to the handout. If you think the figure painting is too difficult, think about simple drawings like these. You might it might remind you the flying angel in Christmas time. The kids would draw something like that, right? And this is the time for Chinese children to paint this in schools, flying Chang'e to the moon. And that's the sample painting for kids. This is the style, we call it freestyle, although it's not really free. So best translation is spontaneous style. It's more like the drawing or sketch we do with a pencil, but this time we use the brush directly to draw without very careful, tracing, just more freehand. That's what we call freehand painting, or 写意 style. 写意 style. And this is gongbi. Everybody probably heard that term. Translated as fine line. Gongbi means fine line, detailed or elaborated style, with usually with heavy color, especially the greens and reds, very contrast, very vibrant color. So this is gongbi style, and many people are specialized in gongbi. So gongbi and 写意 are two different measures in art schools in China. So they are different, technically different styles and approach. One is very careful, one is carefree. This one is called 白描, which means outlined. Actually, it's a complete painting. It's more like an illustration, what you will see in classical books, novels, or things like that, or dictionary. So this is considered a finished painting with only outline, everything, without any color or shading or washes. Okay. And this is my pencil sketch again. If you compare these two, did you recognize they are the same picture? So you can simplify this sophisticated image with simpler lines. You can make it even simpler. This is still too much. So first thing we try to do is to simplify a gongbi painting or a 写意 painting into like 10 line drawings, or 10 strokes, 10 lines, maybe. So something like okay, this one is called 粉本. Before we paint gongbi, usually we have this outlined sketch to put underneath the paper to trace, and it's called a template maybe. So you can like a color book, It's designed for filling color. It's not complete like the other 白描. It could be a 白描. Anyway, so it's just the preliminary sketch for artists to paint on. And these three are finished painting in gongbi style. I put here just for your color reference. I'm not going to paint those. It takes a long time to do. So we will start with a sketch, and you can start with this one, but if you download the one I just uploaded to Dropbox, and the link, did I put the link in the chat room? Oh yes, I did. So can you download that link? Let me do it again. Okay, here. If you want, you can make a copy exactly like I have on my table. And at the same time, I probably will just trace this one with brush. So you can also do the same. If you are not good at drawing, you can simply trace it. Oh, by the way, I got a homemade mooncake by Victoria yesterday. Everything she did from scratch, including the yolk, the salted yolk. She put the fresh egg in the salty water and in a special jar to prepare this, and everything including. And this is made of rice flour instead of wheat flour. So it's cooked before mothering, so it doesn't require baking, so it's ready to eat. Just share with you a little bit the food we enjoy during this time of the year, special food. And so we did last time actually. Let me put on a light box so you can see better, maybe. So let me first of all describe the composition like we did, and then we'll practice a little stroke, and then we'll do a complete painting. And the brush we're going to use is a small detail brush, like this, or you can use the red hair brush, or there's a 7-wolf 3-sheep brush. It's just a strange name for this kind of mixture brush with the stiff hair in the center with a point and soft hair around to hold more ink, so you can complete the painting without reloading. I just draw this template again with just the ink line as if I'm doing the 白描 or the what do you call the outline painting. You can paint the moon a little bit like this, so it cut off. You can also do the whole shape of the moon, but I think it's more artistic if we break the frame a little bit like that. And this is the most difficult stroke for most people. Maybe this is you can divide it into maybe 2 curves. So let's start from this side, and we use the tip conceal the stroke. Keep the tip in the center of the stroke, and you can. I use light ink just because this is in the background and it's white. I have to hold my breath. You can use 2 strokes if you want. And just let them meet in the middle. So you see that the shade is gray. Okay, and then I'll use dark ink. So in 白描, usually we don't use tones, but if you consider this is the color, the first step towards colors, you can use dark and light. So this hairstyle is very dramatic, kind of with a big loop on the top, and you can just use a split brush to get some texture, and just paint the hair all in black. And you can leave the ear a little bit, maybe a little shade, and then I'll draw some loose hair like there. Okay, the profile of the face, you need to use light ink if you use color, and you can even omit the profile, just squeeze it out with other element, just use the background color to squeeze it out. Outline is not if outline is a challenge, you can use shape. So that's combined with outline. So in that case, I'll do the shape first. Like you can use a little bit ink with lots of water to get the gray. And you can even put some blue in it, just to give it a little cool tone. A little blue may help. And I use a Happy Dot brush. It's a medium-sized brush. You can use any brush if you like. So I just paint the shape of this big sleeve. It's almost like the wing of the angels, right? And I'll just squeeze out the silhouette of the face with this gray blue color. It's very light, smoothly first, and then we'll add some definition later. And we just use single tone to finish the whole thing. This tonic gone is just keep it simple, just like a triangular shape. You can just fill in that, and you can leave this dry brush to suggest wrinkles. So just exhaust that. And then this west is tight, so just narrow. And I can put a little more ink in this part, maybe a little shady. And just there's a corner dark, and the neck is not very detailed. In this scale, this just a little triangular shape for the chest, and leave a little white for the neck there. And there are lots of belt things like hanging decoration. Let me finish this stroke. This is an expressive stroke. You can use dry brush because let's see. Just give a little dry brush. Yeah, it just be expressive. A little bit cannot really change if it's not complete. It's okay. You can use a small brush to add a little bit line sometimes. But usually, the stroke will form a line. If that happens, it would be the best. So you don't have to. And I just use black ink to finish the belt. You can use line to draw this belt to indicate the turns, front and the back. You can just draw a single line, and then there's front and back relationship. It's a kind of complicated, but in this style, it doesn't matter. You just draw the feeling of it. You just draw a line, and then you add some decorative, just like you do with the orchid's leaf. The turns and the curves, that kind of. Just suggestively add a little decorative edge. And this part is a little bit tricky. It's like drawing a circle, and it goes round, and then goes the other way. I just add another one. Maybe overlap a little bit. And this is if you think it's a cloud, it is cloud. If you think it's a belt, it's probably more like a belt. And you can just overlap with the closing there. Okay, let's darken the corner a little bit with a V shape. This hanging piece should be on the left shoulder, right? So let's use a little bit color to create some excitement. Okay, I'll just use whatever. Okay, I got some here. I got some from previous class, so I don't have to squeeze new. This is just the scarlet or this vermilion. I think either way would be fine. I just draw this belt, color the belt. You can keep the color relatively thin, so it's not going to cover the ink line. Right. You don't have to vary the hue, but you could later add a cool light, a cool color if you want. But usually we just use ink instead of for the shady part. Just keep it flow. Okay, now with the face, you can just use the little yellow with the red to get some orange color, very diluted. Just paint because it's backlit, right? I leave a little white line. And it will dry lighter. And you can blot it. It will both stop bleeding and lighten it a little bit. If you want, you can add a little water. If you want to lighten it, add some water and blot it again. We'll do that. So try to keep it simple. It's a little too dark. Okay. Let's see how it looks. You can paint the sky with like a light color blue, but usually we leave it unpainted. So I try to think about this giant sleeve, like. But sometimes it's better to just be suggestive without define everything. You can have some decoration on the clothing, but that will be it will take a lot of time to do these things. But let me just keep it simple. Add a little bit of blue, just a hint of a contrasting color. Oops. You can put a transparency in between the template and the paper to preserve it, so you can reuse it. So that's basically the process. Let me share with you some practice you might want to do before to improve your line quality. So this this kind of practice. First of all, let's do the circle thing. So load the brush with just the black ink. You do this practice. So you start from the center, do a small circle, and try to maintain the distance and the width of the line. The stiff brush is a little bit more challenge, so you might use a soft or combination brush. But in the end, we do need to use a liner like this. So a sharp brush is good. Until the brush exhausts, you can. So this will also help you to draw that circle, the moon shape, right? Try to keep the line even. It's very meditative. It's okay to have some loss in the font in the end. So this is one practice. And you can do that to practice your round, your angle, kind of. And the other thing is the belt. And you do this like writing a number 8. Let me use a different brush. Just let's use this. Let's try this red whisker brush. This is a very soft, long bristle liner. Red whisker is the name of this kind of brush. It's probably made of rabbit hair. So you hold the brush straight like this, and then draw a shape like this, number 8, right? And then go back. Continue this. Just like a S-shaped turns. This practice will improve your brush control. You draw these cursive lines like clouds. And try to keep this tip in the middle of the stroke. Okay. And next we will do some folding strokes. Instead of the soft turns, you need sometimes change directions. Sudden change, like this, like you draw a Christmas tree. You need to change direction, right? Or this side. This is more difficult for me. that turn is hard. It's really hard. Yeah. You have to hide the tip. Need more practice for that. It's called folding. Fold. You fold back. Oops. Okay. Now let's draw a cloud kind of pattern. Like just draw half circle, like a heart shape first. Let's do a little bit like that. This is draw like a cursive lines. It could be. You don't have to change the width. And then you draw an eye kind of shape. We call it happy cloud. Just like these lines, the first practice. And then just draw a happy face. Okay, that's the line practice for cursive style, or a little bit. I think we learned bamboo, right? Bamboo, it's to control the tip and where you kick to get a sharp point. That kind of thing also help anywhere. Start with a tip concealed, starting, and the tip exposed, and with a controlled point. So you need to kind of stop in the air at the end to create a gradual change. Last time I think we had a student asked me whether you can paint from thin to thick. So here's a practice you need to do when you draw the garment, the ground. You might need this. You can press and then lift, and then press, lift, and press, lift. So you can vary the pressure, and you can also just practice one to start with. You press from thin to thick, right, and then end with like a bamboo shape, like the student request. And you can do this side also. It might be difficult, but that's also a practice. You press from thin to thick, and then try to do thick to thin. It's like I think it does require more practice. I realize that for most people, maybe you need to hide the tip. Okay, or you can simply put a dot to start the stroke with a square kind of and sharp end. So you can. This is what we called nail head, rat tail. And this kind of stroke we call it like an orchid leaf. It could be cursive. So you when you draw the wave or slope or the clouds, you may need this kind of pressing and lifting. So notice the curve, the bending point. The bending point usually thinner than the middle part. So at the turning, the changing direction part, you lift the brush. You have less pressure. If you do it wrong, it will be something like this. That's wrong. So when you make a turn, this is the thing. When you paint orchid, same idea, right? So these are the practice you should do it on daily basis as a routine. If you are good on this, you will be more prepared when you paint this kind of paintings. Okay. So I will repeat some. I'll paint some more based on the sketches. Just do simple ones. Let's just do a kit style. How about that? Let's do a kit style painting. Simplified 嫦娥. Let me see the next page. Yeah, let's do this one with brown background. And then we'll do the color one. Yeah. This is not easy one. It's like the Han style stone sculpture. Let me show you an image. I have saved here. The one of the earliest images is this. Let's see. Oh, here we go. You see this silhouette is a relief stone carving, rubbing from the stone. It's decorative pattern on stone carving or stone chamber, you will say, of Han Dynasty. This describes the same story that Chang'e is flying over the moon. The moon on the left has a toad in it, but nowadays we use the symbol, the animal symbol of rabbit, a jade rabbit or the white rabbit, because Chang'e brought a pet rabbit with her to the moon. But in Han Dynasty, they think there's a toad in the. You know, if you look at the moon tonight, you will see some kind of shadow, right, in the moon. Then they think that's Chanchu, the toad. In the sun, they think there's a claw. You know, in the Han Dynasty astrology, kind of. So there are stars. You see the little round things. Yeah, that's the. So this kind of shape is simple, and so Chang'e is half man, half human, half like a dragon body, because she becomes immortal. A dragon can fly, right? But nowadays we just do it like a real person with flying belts in the air. So this is a kid's painting. Oh, this is the color version of that angel, kind of remind me of a Christmas angel. Does it? It's very simple, right? So we can do this one with color. Or I did this one for the banner. When you registered for the class, I did that. It's just the ink drawing. Okay. So we can start with ink drawing and then we color it. Okay. I used light ink just a gray. You can lighten it with a little bit mineral colors because they got white in it or opaque. It will lighten the ink and make it the ink a little less smearing. Also, just you can also add a little ochre color. I think just to make the gray a little more interesting, a little thicker, but not just the water. The yellow maybe make it too warm. So we just add a little. And any kind of muddy color, when you have proper amount of water, it will turn nice. Okay, so we can draw the body first. Usually that is triangular shape, a little curvy. But keep in mind the moon is in the front, right? On the corner, right? You just kind of circle it with your fingertip, and then the head is right beside that, right there. So I use my fingertip to draw some control marks. That's it. A lot of people start from the head because that becomes the basic unit for measure other parts. So let's do this maybe. So I'll just draw this almost like the rabbit ear shape. I think this should be the hair. Though, just I'll draw an oval shape. It's too. You can use a paper towel to adjust the water in the brush. This is very absorbent raw unsized paper. So let me just, because it got blurred, so I just color it to the hair. And to make it simple, you can simply make it into this kind of hairstyle with the loops, right? And you can paint the hair around the face to squeeze out the face without really doing outline. Sometimes, in some part, right? And now the shoulder is a kiss painting, so it really one is raised up there. So there's a like a decorative scarf, covered the shoulder. So that's that line there, and then also on this in the front, something like that. So we just do the gesture of that this figure. So remember the one hand is kind of bent, holding the rabbit. There's a rabbit. Yeah, it's kind of abstract. So let's just make this in front of the chest. So I just draw this rabbit ear, and then a little rabbit. Oops. Suggestively, and doesn't matter the hand or the head. I think it's the head of the rabbit. So there's an eye, like. And the arm very freely bent. That's the notice the solid and the soft, hard and soft maybe. The bone part, the body, with the like arm we need to have the bone inside. And the soft part is the loose sleeve. You can feel free just to draw a loose line. But this part is more solid, right? With the arm, and this part is more free. You can just draw a curvy line like that, and try to think about the wind, and there's no gravity in the other space, so you can make it to fly, more. They go up like that, right, in the air. And then the body, the waist should be thinner, right, and then become. There's a wind. So be expressive with the body. Just try to paint the feeling instead of depicting the shape. Just like you feel the flying, kind of, and just using the belt as a qi, or the air movement indicate the motion. And you can have some more belt flying like that. Looks complicated, but not. If you keep the shape and the simple shape in mind, it's really not that difficult. Don't overdo it, this kind of elements, because it will make it too complicated. And I'll do a little cloud, on the right side, like we just practiced on the separate sheets. You just your brush stays on the paper while you look at the sample, and just draw without looking at your brush. You look at the sample, and you'll get it more loosely. If you look at the sample and then draw the lines, trace the lines. Okay, now I'm going to challenge myself again to the moon in one stroke. Gosh. Hold your breath. And you can draw a little trace like that, so you don't. You can do a larger one, exaggerate that, so it make it easier. So you just do a moon like outside the paper, a large moon, right? So we're almost getting there. So that's my thinking process. I don't have any preparation for this. I just improvise. So then you can color it. To color that, you can just use one warm, one cool color, maybe a little bit orange color diluted, and you can add a little red if you want for the face. What about the features in the face? I think you can simplify it into like this, and do a quick, yeah, just like this face. Right? Let me show you. So the feature in this kind of gesture painting, you just need to have the eyebrows, and a very small nose, and a very small small mouth. So if you simplify it, you can cut off the nose, just do the eye without eyebrows, and then just if it's small, you don't need to And you can do it after the color, but after it dries though. So the usually the dark is on this chest, the cheek, right? Cheek. And the forehead is lighter. The nose is lighter, right? And then and you can have a little neck thing. And then I try to hide the hands with the long sleeve, like like this. So you just paint a Milton kind of, even that just something like this. See my garment here, right? So you don't, and then there's a long, large slope, to cover it. Just you don't need to. I think I have a little. It should be under it. The slope, maybe it's better. But don't worry. This could be a belt. Just a scarf. This is not a sleeve. This one is a sleeve. Doesn't matter. Sometimes you first of all you make the abstraction work. Then you can go back to define it, or you don't have to define it at all. Just paint the feeling of it. And you can have this this hand exposed if you want. That's also okay. And so this is my first color. Let me just add a little. Let me see. I got green here, so I use green and then maybe a little bit the blue. If I can find the blue here. I got some blue in hand. And just still, keep it like an ink painting. So I'll just do this thing. And you can have some warm color on the top. Just a little pink here, or purplish pink. Maybe something like that. Oh, this is the belt. So you need to use a different color maybe. This is just now I'm getting more complicated. And you can draw the line with one single brush stroke. Like you do the orchid leaf. It's pressing, lifting, kind of. Okay, and very light color. I think I made a mistake here, so there should be a little space between the garment. Let me redefine it with the color. So this is the gown, and that's the belt. Got blurred to make I think it looks the body too large. Anyway, so when the color is dry, I can use a small blower. Okay, then use a small brush with ink. Don't have to be black, just darker then the color should be fine. Just be very suggestive. And she's looking back to Earth, maybe looking down. And a little bit red rouge color for the mouth. Keep it small. Okay, let me zoom in to show you. Oh, it's okay to have some like blurry colors, soft blurry. Okay. And you can have more contrast by adding those elements in contrasting colors. And you can add a little warm color to the edge or something. You can paint more clouds if you like, but I just keep it as simple as the kit style painting. Oh, you can color the moon with a light, very light yellow. Let's just do a little greenish yellow. A lot of water. I try to finish in one stroke. That's why I try to get some water in the reservoir, so I don't have to change. I'll just wash it. Then you can add a little. You don't need to darken the background, but you could. It would be more complicated if you do that. So it will be much lighter after it dries. The water makes the paper look gray, but actually there's no color. Okay. And we can write the holiday greeting. With black ink.中秋快乐 Happy Mid-Autumn. Oops, dark enough. Not dark enough. Okay, Happy Mid-Autumn. This is the traditional character we usually use in calligraphy and painting still, but not in everyday life. And this is the year of the ox. Henry Lee, or Xiaohui Li. Henry Xiaohui. Okay. can put because this is like the same length, and I can put another character painted. It says painted. Henry Lee painted. Okay, and then the seal. I just put here. So this could be a card, a greeting card style. Okay, I'll send you a picture when it's dry. Let's see what time. Yeah, we still have much time to practice and try different styles if you want. Let me see. Oh, this is the oil painting, realistic style. You can see, you know, the painting is actually better than a photograph, right? Or realism. So the Chinese painting is idealized, although this one is a Chinese oil painting, trying to paint the goddess. This is a line drawing of let me see. Okay, this is a line drawing. I think it could be considered like the Bai Miao, the complete painting, or as a color, you know, for coloring, a preliminary sketch for coloring. This is definitely the Gombi paintings, you know, the ink drawing for coloring. For painting Gombi style, and you can see even at this point there's some kind of differentiation of you know, like clouds and the garment or the body are all different in kind of lines. So the clouds is more cursive, the line is a little flowing, long, and so it's beautiful. Basically, the moon is very clean and clear. So this is the Gombi, the fine line for Gombi. It could be a template, you know. And then Gombi is it requires many layers of coloration with gradation or flat wash alternatively to create a depth of that. So this is more like a drawing, a sketch with a mooncake. Goddess with mooncake. I like this one. I borrowed some elements from this to do the second sketch I used for this. I just did earlier. I may try this again. But I also changed a little bit to make it more expressive. So this one is like a superwoman flying in the air. But basically, you just painted the garments, the belts, without doing much. You know, the figure part. That's what I like. You can use my interpretation to do, but here's the inspiration I got. The cursive line drawing, the drill that we did will help to do this part with ink and brush. So this is the reversed. Where sometimes I flipped it to see the. I think that one was already flipped by someone else. The same design could be flipped. This one, and we can also always simplify this kind of drawing into our own, to be reinterpreted like doing a gesture drawing. In a few sketch, we can do this kind of capture the movement of the figure. To paint a flying figure is really fun. I really enjoyed it, the process, the learning. And this is a very nice line drawing with a rabbit. See the rabbit? Yeah. Hanging on the belt. That's a nice. Okay. This is the color version. This is semi-free, Gombi style. I said it's more. I think it's done on raw paper. That's why it's not Gombi. Gombi paper usually is painted on sized papers. It's like a watercolor paper. It doesn't smear, but this one smears. I think, yeah. This is a design a pad. I borrowed to do the moon flying, and I think it's based on the shape. So this might be a good inspiration for you to color the handout in the first handout, the first page. So you can use 3 colors: the black for the hair, the orange color for the skin and the belt, and then the dark vermilion, the vibrant vermilion, and a little pink on the bottom for the gown. I think we can make it, or in ink as well. Use that light ink for the just paint the shape. Let's try this. Okay, so let's do that page on the handout. This one, okay. And I can put this under the paper like this. And remember, we'll put the moon in front of it. So I put the figure right like this. We don't need to have the light box. You can see through it, right, already. So if you like a color, we can use color, or you can use just light ink. Like I did earlier, I already did the ink version, right, here. So you can use light ink for the body and dark ink for the hair, make a contrast. So in this case, maybe I just use color now. You dilute the ink with just make it lighter. Okay, so there's an arm in front of the body, so it covers the body basically. You can use a lighter ink, a lighter tone pink, maybe dilute it. Just add a little water to the let me see the color. It's like a fresh color. Just make it more orange and red. Make it more festival. You can use more red. I'll just do the dark. What about that first? So it's behind that. Okay. You don't have to make that pink on the bottom. So just one color will be fine. And then we would make the slope. Just squeeze out the shape of the face, maybe the jaw. Yeah. And then can have some dry brush for this one. Okay, and let's just keep it simple, and you can even just use the same color for the skin, but make it very light, and with some yellow, more yellow. Just do a half, and then the hand. Just a suggestion. This time we do paint the hand. Okay, now I use a little dark ink. This is a rabbit hair brush combined, stiff and soft combined. So I change the hairstyle. And one stroke, dry brush, and let it blur into the garment a little bit. It's okay. You can have a little stream, like 2 strokes. Yeah. And I changed the style a little bit on the top, just to make it simpler. And then try to squeeze out the shape a little bit. You can wait it dry, then define it more. Right now we just try to capture the gesture. That belt could be done with a cool color. Maybe we can just use this green color, because the green opaque color covers the transparent color, or even ink. So that's why I use it. You can add a little bit variation, just and I will do this this loop, that's this kind of belt goes around her body, and there's one under the sleeve, I think, maybe on the other side. Doesn't matter really how it runs, but just indicate the wind, the flow. That's important. And just let it. You can be very expressive by creating this kind of movement. And some oops, I think I forgot there's a sleeve in the front. Anyway, just a silhouette, doesn't matter. So you can try the ink, and then you can go back to color, or just define a little bit more the shape on in the head. Okay, let's add a little bit feature, like the ear and the ear. I hesitate to draw the contour. It's kind of risky sometimes, but I may have to just draw a little. Nose, not really good because they're so small. rather not to do that. Just leave it in imagination. It's better. And then I have to draw the eye. Anyway, and then a little bit of mouth. Oops, too big. Just keep it suggestive. The moon should be in the front, so I move it a little bit to the right. Barely touch it. Let me see. It should be inside still, but just got there. And you can make it big, right? That's the idea. So let's do a big moon. They appear so big at this time, you know. So just like that. And do we need to define the garment and the hands, all that? You can do that too, but just keep it simple, you know. Just some suggestion. Some wrinkles, things like that. I don't normally do figures, especially in the class. I did taught one class before with a guest artist in Nanjing. She's the niece of Fu Baoshi, the landscape painter, and Fu Baoshi is also very good in classical figure painting. So her name is Luo Laiying. I had a class with her in this style, kind of contemporary and classical combined fusion style. And if you draw these lines, you don't have to complete, just the last and front, you know, just, and you don't have to stay inside, some inside, some outside, just like you do like flower petals, like chrysanthemum petals we'll learn next time. And that's the line and the color should not so restrictive. And do I need to do those clouds? Of course, you can do that. Let's try the cursive practice that we did earlier. Like I got another handout with clouds. You can use that as a reference in freestyle drawing. If you keep an eye on the sample and then you draw with without looking at your brush, you have more freedom to draw. Like let me see, I would do something in the air, maybe something inside here. Let's draw a cloud. I use cloud to cover some weak part. Maybe this part is a little weak. I'm going to draw this first. Keep the shape rounded. And you can have frequent pauses, so the starting and the ending of each stroke is clear, right? And you can divide a shape with smaller strokes. So do the big one, the envelope first, and then you can work inside. That's normally, and you can also start from the small shape and then just vary the shape basically. Yeah. So you can do a small shape to begin with, and then gradually make it and change. You have fun. You feel free. Feel the flow. And just keep moving. Try to create this kind of very calm mood. So, like no storm, no wind. Yeah, so you can paint a little cloud maybe behind the moon this time. Some small ones can there. Okay, and then some circle things like this, big and small. Left and right, and then symbolize movement. These are cards. My brush is exhausted, that's what I want. So it's a softer here and more defined. There. So you can have a little definition for the hands, but you don't have to. Just suggestive, be suggestive. It's difficult to paint hands, I know. Alright, let me sign it. Well, you can paint some legendary, like a moon palace in the moon. So they usually do this kind of shape, like a temple. I can just draw this with some kind of golden color, maybe, and some steps, some buildings on the side. And there's also some. Last night I saw some shadow like trees. It's a legendary tree in the moon. It's called osmanthus, and they make wine to welcome guests. So you can put a little bit of shadow there, just a little bit shadow. A garden or some kind of. Not overdo it, I think. Okay. I just make basically and just blur it with water. Keep it soft. Okay. there's a title I wrote on the handout. Is this kind of picture is called 嫦娥奔月. 嫦娥 flying to the moon is a theme we see repeated by many artists. So we can write this 嫦娥奔月. 嫦 Maybe I'll type it in the chat room later. Ben is here means flying over moon, over the moon. Ben Yu. And year for ox. Too much stuff. That's why it's too busy. It's difficult to keep it simple. The simpler the better, actually. Let people imagine. Yeah. Okay. Okay. If you like, I want to try this one. This is my favorite when I prepare the class. I don't know the artist's name. I couldn't find a high resolution copy either. But I think it's pretty. Let me try this on this treated paper with detergent. It makes it more spontaneous. I'll try. Very absorbent. It's very challenging. Okay, let me put it on the light box so you can see better. Oh, I can see better. Okay. The mouth is red, so we don't outline that. We just dot the eye, and I just. Since we don't have much time, so I just do it in a simple approach. Just draw the main characteristics of this picture, as if I'm doing a sketch for future painting. Just keep it flow. So try to relate all the shapes, like this goes all the way down, and to try to understand the story. You know, the story is Chang'e holding a rabbit. Rabbit is here. So if you understand the story, it helps. You got little pause there, and we can exaggerate the slope and make the body even more exaggerated. So just cover all the decoration part. Okay, I do like this little jade piece called Zhang, I think. I'm an archaeologist, so I always try to think the name of the object. This is the there are a lot of elements here, so you can just omit. this hand is in the air, and I try to exaggerate the slope, the sleeve. Yeah, just to try to be expressive. We need to be careful with the face. Looking down in the air from above to say goodbye to Hou Yi, right? Okay. We can make the moon a little higher. Let's see, up here. It's big. And with this palace, moon palace. Oh, there's so many architecture features there. I'll just try to keep it very suggestive. Okay, that's it. Some trees. And the clouds, right? You should maybe use a smaller brush for the clouds. It's a little thinner and more delicate. Okay, let me draw this bottom clouds. I don't need to have reference, so I just turn off. Okay. But positioning is good. You draw a large, a small, and a medium group, basically. You can just take the hand out and look at it, and I draw without looking at my hand. I don't really think it's a very good example, so I maybe just do it on my own. Just keep in mind the large and the medium, small. So this is a medium. Have one small here. They're not in the same size. Just be suggestive. Okay, the nose should be very narrow. Keep it small and narrow, just a little bridge. And then we dot the mouth with, in Chinese, I said the ancient Chinese think the small mouth is beautiful, so you call it the cherry, like a cherry, size like a cherry. So the small lip, they just put a little red in the middle of the lips, right? Okay, so that's it. And you can dry it. I can dry it with iron. Then we can start to color it without it bleed. So this is very important. Dry the ink before you color it. Right? Okay, now you can use a softer brush. I just use a little pinky color. With a little orange, maybe. Very light. And you can have a little more on the side, a little bit. Oops, it's still wet. There's a little red dots in the between the eyes, or above the. That's it. Let's stop that. I think my color is a little bit grayish. That's okay. Okay, just dot to that. And we can have some. You can highlight the line with a kind of brown, and then we wash with whatever color you need. Oh, I think it's good to have some purple, the contrast with the yellow in the moon. That's the idea. So we use some rouge color with some blue. That's too dark. But it will dry lighter, I hope. What was this color? Let me. Okay, here's the color reference for you. So the dress is a little bit pinky, right? A little bit pinky, and then the rest is cool. We use just a light gray, blue kind of color to smell, man. Okay. There's some cards there, so I'll watch it later. So this slope actually is white against the background, and we should got some yellow. I only got ochre, but ochre is good, I think, for the building. So we just do this here first. Maybe that's all we need. We just do the building. It's golden palace. Then we dilute it with lots of water. And that's the color. Okay. And you can have a little highlight of the clouds with gray blue, I think, just to make the white looks more whitish. Just highlight the color with a little blue color. Okay, here we should have another cloud. Maybe dry this. This cloud. Very decorative. It goes behind that scarf or belt. Right. Okay, now the time to write the title of the painting. I think the color in the face could be a little more. Just color that nose a little bit. In Chinese figure painting, we usually color the top plane. The top plane, understand? The top plane, where it's like the cheekbones, the nose, and the shady part is usually lighter. Or you can do the opposite, but I got some dirty ink there, but it's backlit or whatever. Okay. Have to keep the brush color really clean when you do the face, and you know that. I forgot to zoom out to share with you that the cloud part you didn't see. I'm sorry. So I'm going to write this title again. 嫦娥奔月 嫦娥奔月 okay. 嫦娥奔月 This fifth character means picture. You don't have to write that. I write the timing, the mid-autumn of ox year. We have a special code, so we know it's this August year, not the other, because this will not repeat every other 60 years. This coding system. Okay, and signature seal. Let me just avoid covering that cloud. You can do it under the cloud. I think this would be fine, just below the character. Turn on the lights here. Can you see it? Okay, that's all for today, I think. Let me see, this sleeve should be some color. It was white. Let me just add a little green, just make it jade color. And just add a little green there. Make it more interesting. So you can see I'm not really painting details. I paint the gesture first, then the feeling of details, not the exact definition of everything. So that's what we call this expressionistic or free expression style. Let me do the eyebrows. Just a little bit. Let's see. Let me just show you. It's a little bit. I got ink in the face, so it's a little funny. Maybe to rescue, if I can wash it out, or I can cover it up with maybe a little bit more red. But it will. Let me see. I got a solution here. This is the cleaner. So maybe I add a little bit to the water. Then I will see if I can lift. I wanted ink a little bit. It's already dry, I think. That's okay. Sometimes beautiful painting must come with beautiful mistakes. If you just leave it, it's a kind of carefree statement. So people would.
Henry, to me, that looked like part of the flowing scarf behind her.
Uh-huh.
I think that make it even more beautiful. There are a few questions in the chat, Henry.
Okay.
If it's okay if I just ask
Sure.
as we at the end of the class.
Yeah.
Someone was asking if you were resting your hand when you were drawing these lines or not.
And if you like do, a brush like this.
Right. Were you resting your hand on the?
You should also keep your wrist free. So don't rest your wrist. So your wrist should be above the table, at least. It's better to do it with the arm above the table. If you paint large, you can stand. To keep those lines free, you have to use your wrist freely like this. You have to move like this.
Thank you for the tips. Yes. So if you were to paint a larger size picture, then you might have to stand up to free up your arm and elbows.
Yeah.
But if you're painting a very small one with details, you could afford to rest your elbow on the table.
Sure. If you do little details like the eye, the mouth, you can first of all control the brush, especially like your small brush. After you wash, usually there's water above the hair in the handle. It might drip down, so you need to dry not only the hair, but also dry the handle as well, preventing the accident. Sometimes when you try to dot the eye, suddenly there's a drop from the handle coming down. So that's very common mistake you could avoid.
Thank you for the tips. Henry, you show us additional reference photos during the class. Could you email me so I could forward to the participants?
Yeah, do I
Are these additional ones? I think they look new. I was not being careful
yeah,
looking at
I have
the.
many. I can send you the whole folder in Dropbox.
Okay.
So you can send them the link with all the reference I collected from Dropbox.
Wonderful.
Yeah. These are
Wonderful.
the yeah. This one is a Japanese woodblock printing. Japanese version. Interesting, right? I can send you all these images. And this is a Western angel. Does it look like Chang'e?
Without the wings, it would be Chang'e.
Yeah. So if you're familiar with this angel, just think about angel when you draw flying gowns and scarves like that. So it will help like hair. So just take out the ring, it becomes Chang'e. I'll share with this one is the Ming Dynasty portrait of Chang'e by Tang Bohu, very famous ancient master. You can see the garment kind of. This is a Ming style fashion, I think. But anyway, it's a very classical painting of a figure, like a typical 仕女, beautiful lady genre. It's a special kind of painting. This is a sculpture of Chang'e. If you want to have a feel of what 3D image look like, this is the I don't know what up there, but this is it's a wood carved. And this is some images that I just got from my friends' holiday greetings. Anyway, this is the story of the myth, the husband and wife, who he is left behind. This is a famous painting by a professor in Canton. He used to live in LA. His name is Yang Zhiguang, very very famous figure painter. He painted dancers, so his paintings are almost like a dancer. Anyway, this is a 傅抱石 son, Fu Xiaoshi. He's famous painting this kind of Western style figures with influence of the West. Some nudes, some like this is Chang'e, I think. Maybe not Chang'e exactly, but his technique is very Sumi kind of style. That's what I try to. I got inspiration from in my first attempt. This one was just animation. You can look at some design elements, and this is okay. That's it. I think kids style. You can share.
Thank you so much, Henry. If students, participants today would like to show your work, you could put it in front of your face, and then we could do it one screen at a time. Henry, I'm going to remove your screen. Remove the spotlighting from you.
Let me see if I can make it in gallery view, right? Can you remove my okay, let's do gallery view. Okay, here we go. I have my phone here. Take a picture. Hold on. Hold up your paintings, please. If you will have a camera, you need to enable the camera. Okay. Let's see. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, we're going to go to the second page.
Second page, they don't have any videos showing today, huh? I think.
Okay, so if.
And I understand this is not an easy class, so I hope my purpose is to make it look simple. So I have to share some good works with you. D. Reagan, right?
Do you want me to spotlight D. Reagan?
Yeah, we can spotlight.
I can spotlight D. Reagan.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
you
that's
hold
nice,
up a little bit higher, D.
Very, very nice. I like the background wash for out the white scarf and the green and the red color is beautiful. Very nice hair, very good proportion. Beautiful. I'm very impressed. Thank you, D. You're very good at figure painting. Okay, thank you for sharing.
Are we going to do Maribel? I see Maribel also hold up.
Maribel is my actually neighbor. We have some participants from very far and some very near, but we don't meet very often. Once a year sometimes. Maribel is very nice. I like the 写意 you got. You usually paint a gombi, right? If you have time, I like to see a gombi. Oh, good. Yeah. You're very good at line drawing. The cloud is a little too dark. It makes it look like water or something. Maybe it should be more. Just leave it white. Just highlight, not to paint the entire. It looks like a river, but it could be Milky Way or something. It's yeah. This is a very simple abstract statement. Very nice. Thanks, very Maribel. I like the belt you got. Very good. Yeah, very nice flow. Beautiful. Okay.
Okay, Suzanne Mink.
Suzanne Mink. Okay, can you spotlight? Replace the spotlight.
Yes, I spotlight her. Maybe it's too small,
okay.
right? You're probably too far away from the camera,
I
Suzanne.
see. There's a rabbit. Oh no, not rabbit. I see rabbit head. Okay. Anyway, I like that the gesture. The very free, kind of uplifting belt. The long sleeve, beautiful dancing movement. Very nice clouds drawing. You can make it more complete with the clouds in the bottom. Maybe more. Just that's all I think. Very good. Very nice. I like the lightness, liveliness of delightfulness.
Okay, we have Andres. I don't know if I pronounce your name correctly.
Andres.
Oops. Is it frozen? Is the screen frozen?
Oh yeah, we got it. You have to look at the speaker view. Yeah. I like the ink and color play here. I do like the dry contour on the moon, so it looks farther, and then solid lines for the garment. Very have a feel like a Han Dynasty painting or something. Very old. I like the dry, the texture, the line, and the color is very antique look. I feel it. It's like a very mystical interpretation. I like that. Your line drawings are very, very nice. It's like a Buddhist cave painting. Just color it. It would be very nice. I like your own composition here. Like someone sitting in the moon with a rabbit. Yeah.
Youngly, I am Shelley. I just didn't have a chance to rename.
Oh, Shirley.
Okay, sorry. So I think I just spotlighted Rosemary, right?
Rosemary, I like the color you have. Some lines could be a little defined, so we don't have a draft feel. But overall, I really like the composition. It's a very very good. You followed the handout very closely. The body and the belt part could be more a little separated at the chest part. Maybe that's all I can see. The other part is nice. I like the expression of the face. and the moon beautifully with a palace garden. Yeah, and the cloud and the garment could be a little differentiated if the clouds leave more empty, maybe a color differentiation. But it's okay. They are both white, I think.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's
Thank you.
It's a nice. It's a night view, you know. So everything's less contrast. I like the contrast focused on in the upper part of the painting, which is nice.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So next person, Yinhua.
We have Yinghuan.
Yinhuan.
Yinghuan's picture needs to be in better focus, I think, right? It's
I can see it.
autofocus.
Very good. Yeah, I like the design you followed. You're very good to capture the color and the shape. Just add the moon like a quarter or half. Like 3/4 or something on the corner. So
Okay.
Yeah, just 3/4.
I forgot.
So, like
I forgot
a quarter
to add
moon
the
on the
moon.
corner would be nice. Yeah, I think. Just
Thank you.
Just the outline. Yeah, you don't have to paint the yellow. Just a line drawing, or you can paint the moon with a yellow line or something. Just suggestive. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for your suggestion. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's a very interesting class. I enjoy.
Thank you. Very well done. Yeah, I like the flying.
I don't
player.
see.
Okay.
So Henry, I do not see another person holding up their work. However, there is a question.
Okay.
Someone asked you to share all the names of the colors you used today.
Oh,
I don't know if you it's possible or not after the fact.
Okay. Yeah, I can give you some. Basically, you just use mineral green. It's all from this Marie's 12 color set. Let me just quickly pick up. I got the
So I'm going to pin on
yeah.
Henry's screen.
Yeah, the orange color is the vermilion, I think, and the scallop, what is it? Scarlet, the Chinese red. You can also use carmine for those red, and the garment is rouge. So all the reds are used in the. Oh, there's a cinnabar you can use for skin colors also. So and then you got yellow for the moon. I think that's about it. And then indigo or sallow for the blue grays. That's about it. Oh, I have this. This color is the mineral blue color, the jade color. It's opaque. Yeah, there's a number on that. It's 593. 593. Yeah. So that's about it. Indigo and some brown is a mixture of everything. You know, just I mix my bronze usually.
Okay, I don't see any more questions. And I just want to remind everybody that all 3 classes in September uses the same Zoom ID number. So I apologize if something I did cause all the confusions today. I am very sorry that many of us show up late. This class is recorded on YouTube. You're welcome to view it. The link to the YouTube is already shared in my email. And next week, Tuesday, same time, same Zoom ID number. We will see each other. The registration for the next series of classes in October and November is on, and that link is also shared in the email. So happy Mid-Autumn Festival. I will see you next week. Thank you so much, Henry. Thank you very much. Thank you for your support.
Thank you.